Hi Yogi, and welcome to another Yoga Quickie with me, Oceana. In today's episode we are specifically warming up the upper part of the body. It's specifically geared at people who do Olympic style weightlifting, which is something I have a little bit of background in myself, but I would suggest that if you do any type of resistance training such as calisthenics, powerlifting, bodybuilding, gymnastics or swimming, that type of stuff, this warm-up will work just as well for you. And equally, if you just want a really good morning stretch, this is a great way to wake up your upper body. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Please remember that this is really just the yoga 2 cents on this type of warm-up. So there's other stuff you will want to do afterwards in order to be fully prepared and prevent any type of injuries. So that can include working with some resistance bands to warm up the muscles and possibly building up with some lighter weights before you begin. When you're ready, we'll start right away so that we keep this short and simple. We'll come all the way onto our backside, so feet hip distance as you roll onto the spine. Draw the knees in towards your chest, and for a moment hug the knees in as you exhale. Either take your arms into a T shape or bend at the elbows for cactus arms. As you exhale, let the knees roll over to the left, let the head roll to the right. Inhale, come back through center, knees and head lift as you exhale. Knees go to the right, head rolls to the left. And now for a few rounds, just find that movement on your own, possibly keeping the breath moving with the body. So as you exhale, coming into that twist. And on the inhale, floating everything through the center line. And we'll make this our final round. So the next time that you come back from the right side, we'll meet back in the center. Hug the knees in towards yourself. Again, briefly squeeze them in. Let the spine flatten and lengthen against the floor. Bring the hands underneath your knees. Use the lower legs to build a little bit of momentum, rocking forwards and back through the spine. We'll eventually meet seated, so when you're ready, come to a comfortable seat. You could possibly have the shins crossed, or if you prefer to have the heels in one line, go for it. Now, ideally you would have your sitting bones on the floor for this so that we can really isolate just the upper part of the body. But if you prefer to do these exercises standing, then of course be my guest. We'll start with some joint articulations, which allows the body to sort of start bringing synovial fluid into the joints, and it also activates a lot of the muscles that support those joints. We'll start with the wrists. So with the left hand flat, palm facing the ceiling, glue the fingers together, wrap the right hand around the wrist, very firmly gripping it, and then circle the fingers around the wrist about 5 times in one direction, and then reversing the direction for 5 rounds. Gently from there, take it to the other side. Left hand around the right wrist. Again, finding as big of a circle as you can without bending the palm of your hand. And after about 5 rounds, going in the opposite direction. One's always a bit harder than the others. Eventually, when you're done, release the arms briefly. We'll take the hands out, fingertips pointing forward at shoulder height, and we'll go for starfish fingers. So bring the fingertips to touch in front of you, really press the shoulder blades forward, and then reach the fingertips as far apart as you can. And we'll repeat that movement a few times, constantly getting a little bit faster over time until it's as fast as you can go without losing that full extension of the hand. And eventually, when I've kept you here for long enough, you'll start to feel a little bit of a burn in your forearms. And once that's happened, you'll go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, shake your arms out quite vigorously. Bring the right hand down to the outside of the hip, a little bit of a bend on the elbow, and from there press into your bottom hand to ground the left sitting bone. Reach the left arm overhead and simply circle the arm around that top shoulder joint 3 to 5 times in one direction. It's about the same repetition scheme on each movement, and then reverse the direction a couple of times. Next time that the arm comes overhead, from here swing the arm forwards and back in front of your chest a few times so that we limber into the muscles a little bit more, getting a little bit of a release here. Next time you bring the arm overhead here, we'll go for a yoga pull-up. At least that's what I tend to refer to it. So spin the pinky finger down. Now as you exhale, you're going to make a fist with your top hand and pull that fist down until your left elbow comes towards the left rib cage. Inhale to extend the fingertips, exhale, pull down and across. And see if you can let that movement really come from your shoulder blade, pulling down the back. Next time that you extend up, again, spin the pinky finger very actively towards the ground as you exhale. Inhale to spin the palm up towards the ceiling, and see if you can really isolate that movement just into your shoulder joint so that you're emphasizing that internal and external rotation of the top shoulder. We'll make this our final time, so when the palm faces up, come back to center, take it over to the opposite side, so left hand to the outside of the left hip, soft bend on the bottom elbow, firmly grounding the right hip into the floor, right arm goes overhead. And from here, again, just starting with those simple circles of the arm going around the top shoulder joint, a couple of times, moving in one direction, and gently, when you're ready, reversing the direction of the circles. Once you've done both directions, when you reach the arm up, going for those swings of the arm in front of the chest, quite vigorously going forwards and back. Next time the arm comes overhead, keep it there. Now going for that yoga pull-up. So as you exhale, spin the top pinky finger down, pull the fist down and across, elbow to the top rib cage. Inhale to reach out, exhale pulling down and across. Really focus on the shoulder, pulling down. As you inhale, spin the pinky finger down, exhale here. Now inhale to roll the shoulder open into external rotation, spin your palm towards the ceiling. Again, find that movement a couple times, seeing if you can keep the rest of the body as still as possible. Next time that the palm is facing up, inhale back to center. Take your arms into cactus arms here, so bend at the elbow, shoulder height, simply allowing for a rotation around the spine. So just swinging the elbows forwards and back. So we start to loosen up the intercostal muscles which run through the rib cage, and they are our secondary breathing muscle after the diaphragm. So when we prepare to do strenuous exercise, we want to make sure that we can take as deep of a breath as possible. So we want to release the intercostals. So for the final few rounds here, you might go a little bit more vigorously, building up a bit of speed if you can. And coming to stillness eventually, take the arms out to your side, spin the left thumb down. Now take your left hand behind the back, right hand behind the head, just briefly touching the back, and then opposite way, so right thumb down, left thumb up, bring the hands behind the back, and see if you can find that movement a few more times. So again, just that internal, external rotation of the shoulder, elbow, wrist. And a little bit of a pat on the back before we even get going with our more strenuous work and exercises. So next time that you have the left hand on top, release the hands in front of you. If there's no knee issues, you can simply roll over the knees. Otherwise, take the legs out to the side and find a tabletop position. So On hands and knees, just make sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips. And we'll run through a little variation of cat-cow, so tucking the toes under. Inhale to arch the spine and roll the shoulders back. Press the tops of the feet into the floor as you round the spine up towards the ceiling. Send the sitting bones towards the heels. Exhale. Inhale to lift up and arch forward. Exhale to round back. Pressing from the hands, sitting bones go to the heels. And finding at least 3 more rounds here on your own, seeing if you can really match that movement to the breath. And really emphasizing that stretch of the back body as you exhale into that extended arm child's pose. Next time that you come into child's pose, we'll meet there for a moment, really actively pressing back from the hands into the sitting bones, grounding them towards the heels of your feet. And when you're ready, walking the fingertips in. And this is where we'll close the practice. So hopefully you feel warmed up and ready for whatever you're about to take on. Of course, if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Possibly even leave me a comment down below. Let me know how it went, what you think. And hopefully I will see you back on the mat very soon, yogi. Until then, bye.